Give us my chol, give us my chol, give us my chol, give a smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, be the reason someone smiles. Give us my chol, give us my chol, give us my chol, give a smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, be the reason someone smiles. Give us my chol, give us my chol, give us my chol, give a smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, be the reason someone smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, give us my chol, give a smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, be the reason someone smiles. Siva gedola, liot liot besimcha. Siva gedola, liot liot besimcha. Siva gedola, liot liot besimcha. Siva gedola, liot besimcha. Siva gedola, liot 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 besimcha. Be the reason someone smiles. 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 Siva gedola, liot besimcha. Siva gedola, liot liot besimcha. Siva gedola, liot liot besimcha.
Breakfast with Elli.
מודה אני לפניך מלך חי וקיים שהחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה רבה אמונתך.
The only day I can remember being totally happy was my friend was moving and I was boxing up his apartment, and we went downstairs and we got this like gross food. It was this little like hole in the wall Chinese restaurant, and then we went back up and ate really quick because we had to box up this stuff. And I just remember saying this was the absolute perfect day, and we determined that perhaps it was because I was thinking outside of myself. I was helping somebody else, and it's not because I'm a great person. It's just because the way my mind is wired, I think I'm going to be yelled at randomly for something I wasn't aware of, and I also have a strong sense of guilt for having luck, privilege, whatever, et cetera, all the reasons I should have guilt. And when I was boxing up my friend's stuff, all of that was gone. I was totally relieved because I was doing something for somebody else. He wasn't going to yell at me because I was there entirely in service of him and his boxes. And I didn't have any guilt because I was doing something for somebody else. And so what we kind of determined is when I'm doing stuff like that, I feel at ease with myself. I'm not talking, I feel thrilled. No, I don't have those feelings. I feel at ease. And that's my favorite thing.
That's Jesse Eisenberg, and he's an actor. And he describes a phenomenon which is, I think, fairly universal, which is it feels better to be useful than it does to receive any type of pleasure. I don't think that's such a novel, innovative concept. I think most of us have experienced that. What I did think was profound is the distinction that he made at the end, that he wasn't thrilled with the experience. It was a positive experience, but it wasn't thrilling. What it was that he felt at ease. And I think that's really important. The most positive experiences are not ones that are thrilling. Rather, they're ones where we feel at ease. And there's a deep reason for that. Because truly positive experiences, not just distractions and fun, but something that's really nourishing for the soul, by definition, it's not going to feel super exciting, electrifying. What it'll feel like is peace, centeredness, tranquility. It's almost like a non-feeling in as much as you're almost not aware that you're having it because you're just letting go and allowing something to happen through you. And that's that feeling of being at ease. And it's actually, when you start to look for that, a great sign and an indication that you're in a healthy place.
Good morning and welcome to Breakfast with Elli, Season 8, Episode 230. It is Thursday, the 16th day of Av, the 30th day of July. The Torah portion is Eikev, HaYom, Yom Chamishi Shabbos, 5th day, counting up toward Shabbos, be learning the 5th Aliyah. Good morning, how are you? I am so happy to be here with you. All right. Let us get started. We have a big day ahead of us. Morning blessings, morning davening, men and boys, two front tzitzis. Everyone else join us in the second bracha as we begin.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al mitzvat tzitzit. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yatzar et ha'adam b'chokhmah uvaravo nekavim nekavim chalulim chalulim galui v'yadua lifnei chisei Chevodecha she'im yisatem echad mehem o im yipateach echad mehem אי אפשר להתקיים אפילו שעה אחת. ברוך אתה אדוני רופא כל בשר ומפליא לעשות. אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי טהורה היא, אתה בראת, אתה יצרת, אתה נפחת בי, ואתה משמרה בקרבי, ואתה עתיד להתלה ממני ולהחזירה בי לעתיד לבוא. כל זמן שהנשמה בקרבי מודה אני לפניך אדוני אלוהי ואלוהי אבותי ריבון כל המעשים אדון כל הנשמות ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר נשמות לפגרים מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על דברי תורה. הריני מקבל עלי מצוות עשה של ואהבת לרעך כמוך. I take upon myself every single day to love my fellow friend in a very special way.
Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe, Morasha kehilas Yaakov, Morasha kehilas Yaakov, Morasha kehilas Yaakov, Torah Tziva lanu Moshe.
All right. Pushka money. How much are you giving? None of my business. Absolutely none of my business. All right. Tzedakah has been given. Let us say the Shema. Here we go.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Shem kevod malchuto leolam vaed.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha HaYom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvelechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot Ben einecha uchtabtam al mezuzot beitecha uvish'arecha.
Bye.
All right, it is breakfast time, and we've got coffee and yogurt. And today I have the strawberry banana yogurt. I thought I had that yesterday, but I didn't have that yesterday. All right, so here we go. Making a bracha shahakol. Borech atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shahakol nihiyah bidvarai.
Coffee, blessed coffee. God bless you for being a friend. When the whole world turns on me, it's only you on which I can depend. I want to taste you in the morning and a few times throughout the day. Yes, a cup or two in the evening too. For me, it's the only way. Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. And that brings us to a very short today in Jewish history. All right, here we go. Where are we? There we are. Sorry about that. Today is the yahrzeit of Reb Moshe Montefiore, Sir Moshe Montefiore. You've heard of Montefiore hospitals. Also, Montefiore is now part of Yeshiva University. Shalom, David. Shalom, James. Good morning. How is everybody? Sir Moshe Montefiore, Moses Montefiore, was a philanthropist who worked tirelessly on behalf of his brethren worldwide, especially in the land of Israel. He dispensed large sums towards charitable causes and founded numerous establishments and institutions. He traveled far and wide to visit Jewish communities and interceded on behalf of before rulers such as Queen Victoria, Tsar Alexander II, the Ottoman Sultan, and the Pope. He lived to the ripe old age of 100, passing away on this day, the 16th day of Menachem Av. Sir Moshe Montefiore, a frum Jew, a religious Jew, and there's a beautiful biography of him at Chabad.org that I would suggest everyone read, because, you know, if you've ever been to Montefiore Hospital, you know how important that is. All right. Let's, well, we talked yesterday about how from this point on, we wish each other a ksiva v'chsima toiva.
Quiet now. Ksiva v'chsima toiva l'shona toiva u'mesuka b'teva hanile v'hanigle u'bekorev mamosh geula ha'mitzvah shleimo al yedei Mashiach tzidkenu. Amen.
All right, that's the Rebbe wishing us a healthy and happy new year with the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our days. HaYom Yom for today.
HaYom Yom thoughts for the day, 16th of Menachem Av. I can't talk to a rabbi. He's going to quiz me, berate me. He's going to talk in Hebrew. There is a real fear of rabbis out there, holy people. Yet no one is more approachable, no one more eager to have you call up and ask to talk. Today's entry is more than a travel log of the Baal Shem Tov. It is a guide for life. Reach out and make yourself vulnerable. Show simple kindness to another, and that is how you can begin to forge deep, passionate relationships. The first step is a simple hi, and from there you can become deep and lifelong friends.
there are some really kind people out there. I'm talking about a person who gets asked favors all the time. And whenever this person can deliver, he says, yes, you need something? I can do it for you? Yes, I will gladly do it for you. That's pretty good. But the Jewish idea of charity, of kindness, of giving to others does go a step further. The Torah expects us to not just wait until people come to us and ask us for favors. We are supposed to be responsible for looking around us and sensing, becoming aware of the needs of people around us, and then taking the initiative and getting out there and saying, hey, can I give this to you? Can I help you this way? Because there are lots of people out there who, may be embarrassed to approach and ask for help, or secondly, there are lots of people out there who don't even know that they are in need of help. And if you take the initiative and provide, you will be able to help those people. So don't just wait to be asked for favors. Step up, take the initiative, offer your help. Today's HaYom is a fascinating HaYom. Here's how it goes. When the Baal Shem Tov, founder of the Hasidic movement, first became known to the world, he would travel widely throughout Europe. Why would he travel? 3 reasons. Firstly, very often he would arrive in a town where there were Jewish people that were in prison, being held captive. The Baal Shem Tov would make it his business to seek these people out and do everything in his power, if it meant to raise money or pull strings, talk to the right people, to ensure that his brethren in captivity would be freed. Second major purpose of the travels of the Baal Shem Tov would be to bolster, to strengthen Torah knowledge and observance amongst all of the towns, the Jewish communities that he would visit, to make them more aware and more observant. And finally, the third objective of the Baal Shem Tov's travels was to share the teachings of Hasidus, the inner dimension of the Torah that the Baal Shem Tov was famous for, to share these wonderful spiritual, mystical teachings with his fellow Jews. Now, this was a different type of model, because most major Jewish teachers in the Baal Shem Tov's times, and this is true today as well, the model was you'd set up a center of Torah learning in your town, in your city, and then your reputation would grow if you were a great teacher, and people would come to you for the learning. And here the Baal Shem Tov says, no, I'm going to bring the Torah, bring the teachings of Hasidus to them. So he was the original traveling rabbi. And the second Rebbe of Chabad, the Mittler Rebbe, was once talking about this contrast, and he said, here's the explanation. Most of the other teachers, Torah teachers, great Torah luminaries in the times of the Baal Shem Tov, were teaching the revealed aspect of the Torah, so the legal aspects of the Torah, or they're teaching Jewish law, and Jewish law and the revealed aspect of the Torah, so the Talmud, the Mishnah, these are compared to water. And people gravitate to water, right? Most major cities are built around bodies of water. People are attracted to water. So if you set up a center of Torah study, a center of water, you build it, they will come. But in the case of the Baal Shem Tov, it's different, because he was teaching the inner dimensions of the Torah, which are compared not so much to water, but more to fire, to a burning, raging fire. Now, there's lots of power, there's lots of warmth, there's lots of light in the teachings of Hasidus, but there is also an aspect of intimidation. When people see fire, they put up their guards, they take a step back. And that's why it was so important for the Baal Shem Tov to say, if I wait for people to come to me, there's going to be all sorts of people that could have gained from these teachings that never will. Therefore, I'm going to have to make a point to take the wisdom, the great Hasidic, the great insight and wisdom of the Hasidic teachings that I have, hit the road and seek out people to share what I have, what I know is very valuable, and share that with people who would be helped by learning these teachings, but may not even know that they are in need of that help, in need of that inspiration. So there's a very simple lesson over here. Don't just wait until somebody comes knocking on your door for a favor or comes knocking on your door for inspiration. Get out there, take the initiative, and be a help to people even before they come knocking at your door.
All right. Sounds good. I was thinking about something while I was watching this, and it occurred to me that growing up, my parents were very involved in our Conservadox temple. It was truly an offshoot of Orthodoxy. It was not meant to be what the conservative movement is today, an excuse for doing a mitzvah. My parents were involved in hiring the original rabbi and cantor, who the cantor became like a second father to me. The rabbi that they hired was a brilliant, brilliant man, but very standoffish. If you wanted to speak to the rabbi, you had to make an appointment. You had to go to his office. You had to sit. It was across from his big desk. It was very intimidating, and really the only the few times that I had to have an encounter with him were mostly because I was misbehaving in Hebrew school for some reason, or later as youth liaison to the adult board of directors. I had some interaction with the rabbi, but it wasn't until I met Chabad that I really understood what the today's HaYom was talking about, because the Chabad rabbis were right there. Anytime I had a question, boom, right there. If they saw me lingering around, lost in thought or something, someone would come up to me and talk to me, one of the rabbis at Chabad, and, make sure everything was okay. And every once in a while, I get a phone call at home from one of these rabbis. We didn't see you at Chabad house in the last couple of weeks. Everything okay? If you remember that, as I started to become more and more involved in Chabad and more religious, my parents worried a lot, and so they thought they would curtail my growth in becoming religious by not allowing me to go but once a month to Chabad house instead of every Shabbos to the Chabad house, which was, a hike. I lived in the San Fernando Valley, and the Chabad house was in Westwood by UCLA. It was a 45-minute drive from my home. And so, I would never be able to take the car there. Once in a great while, I would be allowed to take my mother's car. If she decided she didn't need it for the weekend. And, but the Chabad rabbis were always friendly and wonderful and nice. And Baruch Hashem, I hope that I have continued that tradition. Whenever somebody calls, I try to answer. And if I haven't heard from somebody in a while, I will reach out. And so, yeah, I guess I must have learned something good. They had a good influence on me. So kudos to that, and kudos to Chabad, and kudos to the Rebbe for sending those people out into the world. All right. Now the second and third generation of people are going out into the world. A word from our sponsors, and then we're going to learn some Torah.
And now, a word from our sponsors. PestProRidall.com.
PestProRidall.com, trusted by the best to keep away the pests. We are offering COVID-19 disinfection services. Mention this ad and get 1 month free service. Visit us at PestProRidall.com.
Tarzane Group, micro, miniature, and small orchids. Go to tarzanegroup.com or call Tomas at 305-440-0565. That's 305-440-0565 and order today. Visit Tomas and Yair at tarzanegroup.com. Micro, miniature, and small orchids, beautiful in your home. Go to the website and read Tomas's orchid blog. And by Dina D Design. DinaDDesign@gmail.com. Fine artwork, custom made to your specifications, logos, wall hangings, Judaica, and you can even have something for your child's room. Dina D Designs. Go to her Facebook or Instagram or call or text. Thank you very much to our sponsors. If you'd like to become a sponsor, please go right up here to where it says patreon.com/theactorsrabbi, and you can contribute even only $1 a month if you'd like, but that'll help us bring this broadcast to you on a daily basis and cover our expenses. Be sure to thank your sponsors when shopping and mention Breakfast with Elli when you're shopping there. There might be discounts. Thanks for watching.
Helping lots of people any way we can. Tzedakah is the Jewish way to help your fellow man.
All right, if you would like to do this huge mitzvah of giving tzedakah and helping to bring Torah all around the world, I suggest that you go scan the QR code that you see on your screen. And that QR code is going to take you to breakfastwithelli.live/support. And if you go to breakfastwithelli.live/support, you can contribute to bringing Torah all around the world and give tzedakah. And that is a huge mitzvah. Thank you very much. All right, it is Thursday, and you know what we do on Thursday. We do Rabbi Sachs' Covenant and Conversation, and here he is for today, our beloved Rabbi Sachs, Olav Shalom. Let's see if I can trigger this.
The spirituality of listening. It's one of the most important words in Judaism and also one of the least understood. Its two most famous occurrences are in last week's parasha and this week's. Shema Yisrael, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Vaya'im Shema Tishmu, it shall come to pass, if you surely listen to my commandments, which I am commanding you today, to love the Lord your God and serve him with all your heart and all your soul. In other words, the openings of the first and second paragraphs of the Shema. It also appears in the first line of the parasha, via Eikev, Tishmu, and it shall be if you listen to these laws. The word, of course, is Shema. I've argued elsewhere that it's fundamentally untranslatable into English, since it means so many things: to hear, to listen, to pay attention, to understand, to internalize, to respond, and to obey. It's one of the motif words of the book of Devarim, where it appears no less than 92 times, more than in any other book of the Torah. Time and again, in the last month of his life, Moses told the people, Shema, listen, heed, Pay attention. Hear what I am saying. Hear what God is saying. Listen to what he wants from us, if only you would listen. Judaism is a religion of listening, and this is one of its most original contributions to civilization. The twin foundations on which Western culture was built were ancient Greece and ancient Israel. They couldn't have been more different. Greece was a profoundly visual culture. Its greatest achievements had to do with the eye, with seeing. It produced some of the greatest art, sculpture, and architecture the world has ever seen. Its most characteristic group events, theatrical performances, and the Olympic Games were spectacles, meaning performances that were watched. Plato thought of knowledge as a kind of depth vision, seeing beneath the surface to the true form of things. This idea that knowing is seeing remains the dominant metaphor in the West even today. We speak of insight, foresight, hindsight. We offer an observation. We adopt a perspective. We illustrate. We illuminate. We shed light on an issue. When we understand something, we say, I see. Judaism offered a radical alternative. It is faith in the God we can't see, a God who cannot be represented visually. The very act of making a graven image, a visual symbol, is a form of idolatry. As Moses reminded the people in last week's Parsha, when the Israelites had a direct encounter with God at Mount Sinai, you heard the sound of words, but saw no image. Zulati kol, there was only a voice. God communicates in sounds, not sights. He speaks, he commands, he calls. That is why the supreme religious act is Shema. When God speaks, we listen. When he commands, we try to obey. Rabbi David Cohen, known as the Nazir, a disciple of Rav Kook and the father of the chief rabbi of Haifa, Rav Shai Yashuv Cohen, pointed out that in the Babylonian Talmud, all the metaphors or understanding are based not on seeing, but on hearing. Tashma, come and hear. Kamashmalan, it teaches us this. Shmamina, infer from this. Lo shemiah le, he didn't agree. A traditional teaching is called a shamaita, that which was heard, and so on. All of these are variations on the word Shema. This may seem like a small difference, but in fact it's a huge one. For the Greeks, the ideal form of knowledge involved detachment. There is the one who sees, the subject, and there is that which is seen, the object. And they belong to two different realms. A person who looks at a painting or a sculpture or a play in a theatre or the Olympic Games is not himself or herself part of the art or the drama or the athletic competition. He or she is a spectator, not a participant. But speaking and listening are not forms of detachment, they're forms of engagement. They create a relationship. The Hebrew word for knowledge, da'at, implies involvement, closeness, intimacy. And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and gave birth. Now, that is knowing in the Hebrew sense, not in the Greek. We can enter into a relationship with God even though he is infinite and we are finite, because we are linked by words. In Revelation, God speaks to us. In prayer, we speak to God. If you want to understand any relationship between husband and wife, or parent and child, or employer and employee, pay close attention to how they speak and listen to one
I have some quick medical.
Everything else. The Greeks taught us the forms of knowledge that come from observing and inferring, namely science and philosophy. The first scientists and the first philosophers came from Greece, from the 6th to the 4th centuries BCE. But not everything can be understood by seeing and appearances alone. There's a powerful story told about this in the first book of Samuel. Saul, Israel's first king, looked the part. He was tall. From his shoulders and upward, he was higher than any of the people. He was the image of a king. But morally, temperamentally, he wasn't a leader at all. He was a follower. God then told Samuel to appoint another king in his place and told him it would be one of the children of Yishai. Samuel went to Yishai and was struck by the appearance of one of his sons, Eliav. He thought he must be the one God meant. But God said to him, "Don't be impressed by his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him." God does not see as people do. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Jews and Judaism taught us that we can't see God, but we can hear him, and he hears us. It is through the word, speaking and listening, that we can have an intimate relationship with God as our parent, our partner, our sovereign, the one who loves us and whom we love. We can't demonstrate God scientifically. We can't prove God logically. These are Greek, not Jewish modes of thought. I believe that from a Jewish perspective, trying to prove the existence of God logically or scientifically is a mistaken enterprise. God isn't an object, he's a subject. The Jewish mode is to relate to God in intimacy and love, as well as awe and reverence. One fascinating modern example came from a Jew who for much of his life was estranged from Judaism, namely Sigmund Freud. He called psychoanalysis the speaking cure, but actually it's better described as the listening cure. It's based on the fact that active listening is in itself therapeutic. It was only after the spread of psychoanalysis, especially in America, that the phrase "I hear you" came into the English language as a way of communicating empathy. There's something profoundly spiritual about listening. It's the most effective form of conflict resolution I know. Many things can create conflict, but what sustains it is the feeling on the part of at least one of the parties that they have not been heard. They haven't been listened to. We haven't heard their pain. There's been a failure of empathy. That is why the use of force, or for that matter boycotts, to resolve conflict is so profoundly self-defeating. It may suppress it for a while, but it will return often more intense than before. Job, who has suffered unjustly, is unmoved by the arguments of his comforters. It's not that he insists on being right. What he wants is to be heard. Not by accident does justice presuppose the rule of audi alteram partem, hear or listen to the other side. Listening lies at the very heart of relationship. It means that we're open to the other, that we respect him or her, that their perceptions and feelings matter to us. We give them permission to be honest, even if this means making ourselves vulnerable in so doing. A good parent listens to their child. A good employer listens to his or her workers. A good company listens to its customers or clients. A good leader listens to those he or she leads. Listening doesn't mean agreeing, but it does mean caring. Listening is the climate in which love and respect grow. In Judaism, we believe our relationship with God is an ongoing tutorial in our relationships with other people. So how can we expect God to listen to us if we fail to listen to our spouse, our children, or the people affected by our work? And how can we expect to encounter God if we have not learned to listen? On Mount Horeb, God taught Elijah that he wasn't in the whirlwind, the earthquake, or the fire, but in the kol demamah daka, the still small voice, that I define as a voice you can only hear if you're listening. Crowds are moved by great speakers, but lives are changed by great listeners. Whether between us and God or us and other people, listening is the prelude to love. Shabbat Shalom.
Wow. All right. In the fifth Aliyah, Moshe charges the Israelites to love and fear Hashem. Awe is a better word. To serve Hashem. He expounds on the greatness of Hashem and impresses on the Israelites their great fortunes that Hashem has chosen them to be his treasured nation. He again reminds them of the many miracles that Hashem performed on their behalf since they left Egypt. And now, Chumash and Rashi with Rabbi Avtzon, Part 5.
Jewish audio on Chabad.org.
And now, Jewish people, even though you rebelled against Hashem all these times, what does Hashem your God demand of you? Only that you exercise your free choice to revere Him, to walk in His ways, to love Him, and to serve God your God with all your heart and all your soul. It's not a small thing, but it's an important thing. And if we access the incredible power of our neshama, then it is a small thing. Keeping God's commandments and rules, which I command you today. Furthermore, He is not asking you to do this gratuitously, but for your own good. He will reward you amply for your devotion. Indeed, it is only regarding your relationship with Him that He grants you free choice. Everything else in life is predestined. Behold, both the physical heaven and the spiritual heaven beyond the physical heaven, not to mention the earth and all that is, belong to God your God. Yet, out of the entire universe, Hashem desired only your forefathers to love them, and He chose their seed after them, you, out of all people, as you remain His chosen one to this day. You must therefore circumcise the foreskin of your heart, meaning cease to be callous in the face of His love, and cease being stiff-necked. For Hashem your God is God over all divine beings and Lord over all earthly kings and lords. So you will never be able to appeal to any other power for protection from Him. He is the great, mighty, and awesome God who will not be partial to you if you totally shirk your divine mission, despite having promised to be partial towards you by overlooking occasional lapses. Nor will He accept a bribe if you try to appease Him by donating money to His causes if you totally shirk your divine mission, even though paying a fine can atone for sins in certain other cases. Yet, despite His transcendence and omnipotence, He also concerns Himself with the lowly affairs of humanity, even its least powerful. He executes justice on behalf of the orphan and widow, and He showers love upon the resident alien by giving him bread and clothing, even though he will not possess any land inheritance from which to earn a living. Do not underestimate the importance of food and clothing, for when your forefather Yaakov was threatened by his enemies, the only material requests he made for God besides physical protection were for these two things: something to eat and something to wear. You likewise must show love towards the resident by not taunting him for being of inferior social status, for you yourself were aliens in Egypt and suffered for being of inferior status. In general, you should strive to imitate Hashem by imitating all the facets of His loving kindness. Accordingly, I am stipulating that this behavior be an additional aspect of the respect you must accord Him. Previously, I told you that you may only swear in His name if you revere Him and worship Him. Now I am adding a third condition, that only if you revere Hashem, worship Him, and are attached to Him, may you swear by His name, worshiping Him in love. He deserves to be the object of your praise because He's your God who did these great and awesome things to you, as you have seen with your own eyes. Remember, this is Moshe talking. Your forefathers descended in Egypt with 70 souls, and now, look, Hashem your God has made you, relative to those 70 souls, as abundant as the stars in the heaven. You must therefore reciprocate His love, and love Him, guard His charge, rules, ordinances, and commandments all the days, for all time. Know and accept what I am saying today, for I am not speaking with your children who did not know and did not see the chastisement of God, His greatness, His mighty hand, His outstretched arm, His signs and His deeds which He performed in the midst of Egypt, to Pharaoh, Egypt, and the entire land, and what He did to the army of Egypt, to its steeds, chariots, how He caused the water to inundate them when they pursued you, and how Hashem destroyed them, so that their army remained crippled to this day. Your children that weren't born yet did not see what Hashem did for you in the desert until you arrived in this place, and what he did to Dasan and Aviram when the earth opened its mouth, swallowed them along with their household, tents, property, in the midst of all of Israel. And since your children did not know any of this, they might question, how can I exhort them to be faithful to God based on all these things? Says Moshe something very powerful. It is with you I am speaking, for your eyes have seen all the great work of God, which he did as I have recounted. Therefore, keep all the commandments that I am commanding you today, in order that you be strong and come take possession of the land that you're about to process. And in order that you prolong the days, your days in the land that God gave you, a land flowing with milk and date and fig honey. What Moshe is saying is, and this is a point that often people forget. People say, how do we know Sinai happened? And one of the biggest arguments is because you can't tell a group of people, millions of them, that they saw something which they didn't see. It just doesn't work. So Moshe is telling them, your children didn't see this, but you did. And you'll be able to tell your children and grandchildren. And this tradition will pass for thousands of years, because there was a group of millions of people, men, women, and children, who saw God at Sinai. You were there. Some of you were younger, but especially the women. None of the women died in the desert. Some of these women were quite elderly. They were adults when it happened. And Moshe is telling them, you saw this. It was real. Hold on to it.
All right. Parsha Points with Rabbi Epstein is up next. Let's learn some more.
Parsha Points, Eikev, for Thursday. Why do we have free will? We have no choice. I hate free choice. I make bad choices. Why use GPS? Don't you want free choice? No, I want to get there. Wouldn't it be swell to get a printout of all the right moves to make? I'd never buy the wrong stock or overcook the pasta. Fortunately, we don't get too many choices. We can't choose our parents, if our mother smoked when she was pregnant with us, where we're born. Look, by the time we have agency, we have been so conditioned we rarely make genuine choices free of any biases at all. What can we choose? The moral response we have to circumstances presented to us. That's all we can choose, to fear Hashem or not. No GPS or Google recommends can direct us. That's the only choice you can independently make. Choose wisely.
Napoleon used to say, the army rolls on its stomach. Or the other old cliche, the road to a man's heart is through the stomach. Undoubtedly, food, a major preoccupation in our life. I was told a while ago, the kosher industry in the States is somewhere between $2 and $3 billion. Kosher industry. So I want to discuss something today about food, about eating, how one eats, when does one eat, and what do we have to do to prepare and to conclude the meal. But before this, thank you Hashem for giving us all this food and everything else. מזמור לסויד אורילה דן כל ארץ יהודה סדן בשמחה בו לפנו בנונו דו כדן ולם הוא אסנו ולא אנחנו נמצא מריסה בישור בסויד הרץ רייסה בסילו הוי דרבח שומע כי טוב ועדן לעולם חסדו וידו יבדר אמון הסוי. And let's give some tzedakah. This will help some people to get food. The Torah says, Ve'ochalta, you will eat. Ve'savata, you will be satiated. Uverachta es Hashem Elokecha, and you will bless God, your God. What are you going to bless him for? Al ha'oretz ha'toiva asher nasa lach, for the good land that he has given you. Hold it. We're thanking him for eating. We're thanking him for the food. So why are we called to bless him and to thank him? For the earth that produces the food. Should we just simply bless, thank for the food, not for the earth? Have we eaten the earth? Are we eating the trees? So here we come to the main concept, the whole idea of food. One can eat food as a glutton. One could eat food simply because it's delicious, an enjoyable activity, although often later on we regret it. But at the moment itself, it's a pleasant, it's an enjoyable activity. Or we can eat with a more loftier, holier concept. I recognize that the food is coming from God. So in a certain way, this is actually a statement of faith. If we make a blessing before eating anything, and whatever appropriate blessing there is, if you want, you can look it up. You can look it up. There is a website. Which blessing for what food item? So when we say a blessing beforehand, we recognize that it is God that is providing us this food. But it's not only recognition God is giving us this food, it's a recognition that God is the creator of the world. Oretz HaToiva, the good land. God is the creator of the entire universe. And it is this universe, this earth, which gives this fruit, this food. But there's more than this. When we eat something, we elevate the godly sparks which is hidden in this food, which is hidden in the ground. God created the world. There was 200, says Kabbalah, 288 godly sparks that were dispersed all over the universe. In the earth, in the ocean, wherever they are. By us using this food item and eating it, as I said before, recognizing that it's all from God. But it's not only from God, that it's all for God. Why am I eating? In fact, what gives me permission to destroy a living organ, to destroy an animal, to destroy a living fruit, a vegetable? The reason why I'm allowed to do this is because I will now go and serve God with the strength that I have acquired by eating this food. So this food, this animal, this flesh, the mineral, the water, and the earth upon which it grows is now becoming a participant, a partner in our servitude to Hashem. So really we elevate it. So we elevated the mineral, the earth. We elevated the vegetation. We elevated the animal. Through us, human beings, serving Hashem. So that's what the Torah says. Food. The army rolls on the stomach. Where are we going to? What's the army? With the army of Hashem. with God's army transforming, conquering this world to become an abode for him, which culminates in the Beis HaMikdash now.
Beautiful. All right, moving on to Tehillim. You said it. Chapters 23 and 125.
מזמור לדוד, אדוני רואי, לא אחסר, בינוס תשע, ירביצני, על מי מנוחוס ינהלני, נפשי שובב, ינחני ומעגלי צדק, למען שמו, גם כי לך בגיא צלמובס, לא ירא, כי אתה עמדי, שבטך ומשענתך, המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפניי שולחן נגד צורריי, תשענת בשמן ראשי, כוסי רוויה, אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני. כל ימי חיי ושבתי בביס אדוני לאורך ימים.
שיר המעלות הבטחים באדוני קראתי אלוהים עד לעולם ישב ירושלים הארץ סביב לו ואדוני סביב לעמוד ביחדיו ביד עולם כי לא ינוח שבט הרשע על גורל הצדיקים למען לא ישלחו הצדיקים באפלוס על ידיהם היטיבו אדוני לטובים ולישרים בליבו יצום ואמרתם הכל לא יצום ירדיכם אדוני יספויל ליאוב את שלום על ישראל.
All right. Excuse me. Time for Pirkei Avos, chapter 4 this week.
Pirkei Avot, Perak Dalid, Mishnah Tetva, 15th Mishnah, the 4th chapter of Masechet Avot. Rabbi Yanai Omer, said Rabbi Yanai, Ein biyadenu lo mishalvat harishayim, v'af lo miyisurei hatzadikim. Ein biyadenu means it is not in our hands, nor the peace of the wicked, nor the afflictions of the righteous. So there's a number of different interpretations. What does it mean that it's not in our hands? So the simple understanding is, in biyadenu, we don't understand. It is not in our ability to understand why Shalvat v'sha'im, the peace of the wicked, nor Yisurei tzadikim. It is a very famous question of tzadik v'ralo. Why do bad things happen to good people? We don't know. It's very simple. Rabbi Yanai says, "En biyadenu." We don't know. That's what Bartanura says. Kolomar ena davar yadua lanu. Madua derech v'sha'im tzleicha. We don't know why do wicked people? Why is their way successful? Why are the righteous afflicted with suffering, yisurin, suffering and pain? That's one interpretation. Pirush acher, another interpretation. Ein lanu bizman hazgalut lo mishalva v'ashkeit shiragil hakadosh baruch hu latet v'sha'im kedei letardan min ha'olam haba. So this is one of the theories that Chazal promote, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives shalva and v'sha'im in this world kedei letardan min ha'olam haba, in order that they shouldn't have reward in the next world. The same thing is true. Af lo mini yisurim ha'miyuchadim letzadikim. The righteous suffer in this world. She'em yisurim shel ahava. They're yisurim of love. That's what Gemara in BRACHA says. She'em behem bitul Torah, because that are she'em behem bitul Torah. I don't know if that's a language in she'em behem bitul that don't have that don't cause bitul Torah. Kolomar yatzanu michlal v'sha'im. Okay, we've lost the idea of Rishayim. She'en lanu hashalva sheyesh l'Rishayim. The Rishayim don't have enough peace that they lose their place in the world to come. We're also not the righteous. So it's a way of another way of saying, the Torah says it this way. Like you see it's a Rasha, and you think, oh, he's a Rasha, why do you think it's good for him? And you don't know that person is a Rasha Right? There's a lot of things you don't know. And the tzaddik also, you don't know who's a tzaddik. So either you could say we don't understand why it happens, or you can also we can't say we don't we don't know who the Rishayim are, or we don't know what Shalva is and Yisurim are. We don't know. So there are different ways of understanding, but it all goes to the same idea. Right? Why do good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people? Okay, we don't know why. We don't know good people and we don't know bad things. All of those we don't know. Rabbi Mati ben Charash Omer said, Rabbi Mati ben Charash, Habi makdim b'shalom kol adam. Be makdim b'shalom, to greet in the peace of every person. We've seen different kinds of, receiving all kinds of different people with happiness. This is another comment like we've seen before, to receive people. Rabbeinu Yonah says, that's b'derech hamusar, it's ethics, it's just proper behavior. Okay, be cordial to all people. Next, Habi zanav la'arayot, v'altehi rosh l'shualim. Be the tail of the lion, and don't be the head of the foxes. Okay? Zanav la'arayot l'gedolim mimcha, v'lo rosh l'shualim, don't be a head of foxes l'ktanim mimcha. The Brahma says it somewhere differently. He says, okay, it's better, it's better to be a student to someone who's wiser than you. Yoter tovlo, yoter ra'ui, it's better for him, and it's more worthwhile, miyot rab lepachot mimenu, than being a teacher for those who are less than you. It's better, it's another way of understanding it, the classic way of understanding it, it's better to be a little fish in a big pond, right, than a big fish in a small pond. Because obviously, if you're a big fish in a small pond, you've reached a limit of your growth, right? You're giving or people taking from you, but you can't grow. Whereas if you're a little fish in a big pond, if you're the tail of the lions, people are challenging you. You're always striving to do more, striving to be better, and it makes you better. It makes you challenged to grow more. We'll stop here. Dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.
Tanya.
All right, Tanya for today, the 16th day of Av.
Tanya thoughts for the 16th of Menachem Av. Recognize this verse from the opening of Ecclesiastes. Vanity of vanities, says Koheles. Vanity of vanities. It's all vanity. You think it's vanity? I wasn't sure. Look, this verse contains 7 references to vanity. Hevel, Hevalim is 2. Count it. Trust me on the math. There are 7 steps from Hevel, airy, the non-substantive, to the substantive. Trace existence to its origin of non-existence, and you will find Hashem.
No, it's not impossible that Rebbe did say, just study Rambam each and every day. I'll never miss my daily Rambam. My Rebbe so desires, I'm not busy or too tired. When I learn Rambam's connected, I remain, I am a link in the Rebbe's golden chain.
Mitzvah Minute, class number 178, Sefer HaMitzvahs.
Another prohibition associated with sacrilege, the misuse of objects that are considered holy, is negative mitzvah number 114, that once an animal becomes sanctified as a sacrifice, we are forbidden to shear its wool or its hair. Now, once again, like yesterday's mitzvah about manual labor, the Torah only explicitly states the mitzvah with regards to Bechor, to the firstborn animals, and also only in regards to sheep. However, the rabbis have derived that, again, this mitzvah, like yesterday's, applies to every type of animal designated as a sacrifice, no matter if it's a sheep or an ox or a goat, and no matter what type of sacrifice it was designated to be, whether a burnt offering, a peace offering, doesn't matter. Every sacrifice is forbidden to be shorn.
גואלנו, והוא גואלנו, והוא גואלנו, משיח צדקנו, הרבי מלובביץ' מלך המשיח, הרבי מלובביץ'.
All right. Yesterday was Tu B'Av, the 15th day of Av. On that day, the tribes were permitted to marry each other. The decree for those who were supposed to die in the desert was lifted. Hosea removed the roadblocks set by Yeruvam to prevent pilgrimage from the temple, and those massacred at Beitar were finally buried. The 15th of Av symbolizes the transformation of the sorrow of Galut into the joy of Geulah. Specifically, it was a day of healing when the divisions between man and his fellow, between man and Hashem, were rectified. Now, the rectification reverses the cause of the destruction of the first temple and the second temple. And it's noted that it is impossible to exist as a people without unity. Nor can we have a spiritual existence without unity with Hashem. Reclaiming this unity prepares the way for the Geula HaMitzvah Shlema, the final and complete redemption with Mashiach Tzidkenu. May it happen today. Here's Shmuel Tzvi. I know. Here he comes. Fear not.
Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Hope all is well. We are the last generation of exile and the first generation to be redeemed with the coming of Mashiach. How do we know this? Because we've been told multiple times by the Rebbe. So, this was told to us over 30 years ago. So how much more so now does this message apply? Does this message have to penetrate our hearts? That we have to get ready for the redemption? The Torah is the blueprint, the outline to bring God into this world. Hashem created the world, which is finite, and Hashem himself is beyond infinite. But there's a channel, a way to bring in the beyond infinite into the finite, to combine heaven and earth. What is that platform? That platform is the Torah. And the Torah has an inner dimension to it and an outer dimension. All the laws, the stories, the details, that is the outer dimension of the Torah. The inner dimension of Torah is Chassidus and Kabbalah, the secrets, the life, the soul of the Torah. We need both. A person can't survive without a body and a soul. If you just have a body or you just have a soul, you will not be complete. So too, we need the inner parts of the Torah and the outer parts of the Torah to greatly have a connection to our Master. So this is what needs to be done. We can't just have the inner parts of the Torah, because we need the laws. Hashem wants us to put on tefillin, He wants us to eat matzah, He wants us to keep Shabbos. These are all the outer physical parts of the Torah. But just to do these mitzvahs without understanding the secrets and the life behind them is also incomplete, maybe even more incomplete. We can't judge, we can't say, we're not able to judge these things. But just like we need the outer dimension of the Torah, the laws, we also need the inner fire, the secrets of the Torah, Chassidus and Kabbalah. Today we are celebrating a very, very special day. Today is Chaf Beis Shvat. Today is the yahrzeit of the Rebbe'S, the wife of the Rebbe, the daughter of the previous Rebbe. Tzedekis of Yisrael, the righteous woman leader. We know that a husband and wife share the same soul. So the Rebbe'S has the same soul as the Rebbe, the general soul. The Rebbe is the Moses of our generation. So the Rebbe'S is the female version of this soul of the generation. So we know that the Rebbe'S is like the mother of all of the Jewish people. So on this very special day, we have to connect to Hashem. And in the merit of the Rebbe'S, we will all be redeemed, we'll all be purified. Because today is an Et Ratzon, it is a day of opportunity, and I want to wish my brother Mordechai Israel Ber happy birthday. He is celebrating his birthday on this very same day. It's very fitting that my brother should be born on the day of the yahrzeit of the Rebbe'S. We see a lot of similarities. And may Hashem bless all of you, that we all also connect to the Rebbe, to the Rebbe'S, and to all the tzaddikim, the righteous people, because the righteous people also connect heaven and earth. Just like the Torah is a blueprint to connect, to bring God into the world, so too the righteous bring God into the world. They are soldiers, they are servants, they are completely surrendered to Hashem. Therefore Hashem fills them, and Hashem carries out his mission through them. So to let us all become soldiers and emissaries of the Eibishter, of the one above, of Hashem, to welcome Mashiach, which may we see today, because we know we are in the last generation. May Hashem bless you all. Let us celebrate this holy day today together with the coming of Mashiach. That would be the perfect way to celebrate it. Please share this message, comment, subscribe. Tell me a good deed you did. Let's bring Mashiach into the world. May Hashem bless you all.
Mashiach's waiting at the door, so let us greet him and come back home, finally home in the place where we belong. It's been so long that we've been gone, so lost and alone, scattered all across the globe. But now that we are back again, we beg you, please resume your throne. We're finally home.
And it's not over yet. Hashem is not just big, he's infinite. If he were only big, then those things that are small would be further from him, and those things that are big would be closer. But to the infinite, big and small are irrelevant. He's everywhere. He's found everywhere he wishes to be found. Every person is a microcosm of the entire creation. When a person brings harmony between his godly soul and his material life, he brings harmony between the whole of heaven and earth. And that's how we bring heaven down to earth. Interesting, huh? I know. All right, come talk to me on social media. Any of the Actors Rabbis groups, at Blue Sky, Clubhouse, Discord, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Telegram, Twitter, WhatsApp, YouTube. You can email me at theactorsrabbi@gmail.com, and you can go to theactorsrabbi.com itself to sign up for life coaching services, wedding officiant services, and our now a year old SHABBOS with Elli newsletter that's going out later today, God willing. It may be late today. So don't expect it until tonight. I have an event that I need to attend this afternoon, and I'm leaving right after this broadcast, and I won't be back until late tonight. I'll try and do it from the road if I can, and if not, we'll get it out to you as soon as very possible. You can go to breakfastwithelli.live/mail and sign up for it. breakfastwithelli.live/mail, and you can sign up for, what was that? All right. You can sign up for the Breakfast with Elli .live. I'm sorry, the SHABBOS newsletter, breakfastwithelli.live/mail. Also, get your swag at breakfastwithelli.live/swag. James, yours is coming to me. Yours is coming to you. It just, I'm having a problem with USPS. My local carrier doesn't want to take it, so I have to get to a post office, which is not near me. But I'll get it out to you right away. All right, let's make it after bracha.
Baruch ato Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam boirei nefashos rabbos v'chesronan al kol ma sheborasa lachayos bohem nefesh kol chai baruch chai ha'olamim. Avi Ilson, Yishtabach HaMelech, the official video. Yishtabach HaMelech, Praise of Hashem. Avi Ilson, a brand new song. I hope you enjoy it. Go out and do something nice, something good for someone today. Thank you to our Patreon sponsors, Pest MORID, Tarzan Orchids, Dina D Design, Bracha Biederman, Reza Musavi, Wendy Cohen, Julie Haber, David Wetman, and our anonymous donors. If you would like to become a donor, all you need to do is scan the QR code on your screen, which will take you to breakfastwithelli.live/support. And you can join us in bringing Torah all around the world. All right. In the words of Rabbi Isaac Hamler, have affection for a fellow. Hashem will have affection for you. Do a kindness for a fellow. Hashem will do a kindness for you. Draw a fellow close. Hashem will draw you close to him. Make it a great and glorious day. Be the reason someone smiles. And we will talk to you tomorrow, God willing. Same time, same place, 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Breakfast with Ellie. See you then.
ישתבח שמו של מלך מלכי המלכים בעולמות אשר ברא, בעולם הזה ובעולם הבא. ישתבח שמו של מלך מלכי המלכים בעולמות אשר ברא, בעולם הזה ובעולם הבא. ישתבח המלך, ישתבח המלך על כל העולם כולו. ישתבח המלך, ישתבח המלך, ישתבח המלך על כל העולם כולו. ישתבח ישתבח שמו של מלך מלכי המלכים בעולמות אשר ברא, בעולם הזה ובעולם הבא. ישתבח שמו של מלך מלכי המלכים בעולמות אשר ברא, בעולם הזה ובעולם הבא.